Hello. Today we will dive headfirst together into technology and time perception. Let's start with our question. Has technology sped up our perception of time? We'll be investigating this through a scientific and technological lens. Well, after weeks of research, it turns out I could actually answer my question in just 9 words. Yes, technology has sped up humans' perception of time. This is my argument, what I'll be arguing today, and hopefully some convincing tokens of knowledge will be picked up about perception. But now, some context. The ubiquitous nature of technology has shifted the communication dynamic around the world. If I wanted to talk to my friend halfway across the world, I can do it because of technology. On the surface level, this is fine, but as we dive deeper, we may find that the public spheres around the world may have eroded as technology shifts the user's perception of the world. Specifically, as technology shifting the user's perception of time. My argument is broken down into 4 parts. I will defend my argument with some claims and evidence, and then move on to potential solutions. Part 1. Technology induces an artificial sense of urgency. Now, audience, stop me if you haven't seen the following phrases before. 30% off, only 20 days left, a free gift for the first 100 purchases, limited time offer. This is what marketers call artificial urgency. It's actually a marketing term that companies use to pressure consumers into buying more product. In the tech world, it's how companies are able to apply a fake sense of pressure into making a purchase from consumers. Artificial urgency has been able to piggyback on the internet, allowing tech companies to rely on the marketing tactic of urgency to seal the deal with consumers. The design elements add an extra pressure on the buyer, as he doesn't have enough time to check anywhere else, forcing the buyer to close the deal. Companies even go as far as to use trigger words like "act now" to attract potential buyers. They have essentially warped the buyer's sense of time by using these words in their marketing tactics, when in reality, the consumer may have time to buy a product. They're told that they actually don't have time, contrary to what they believe. Part 2. Technology shifts user time to computer time. Before the tech revolution, our time perception was based on the metabolic human speed of emotions and reflexes. With the tech process, we are forced to function at whatever speed technology works at. We try to understand something deep, like processing data. We risk making superficial conclusions when pressure is induced from tech rhythms. A perfect example of this is your phone buzzing constantly or your alarm ringing every minute, reminding you to check your tweet or your next text. Dopamine releasing pleasure, such as browsing social media, becomes much easier than the daunting task ahead. So users will choose something new and something easy over these difficult tasks. From a neurobiological standpoint, we can make the connections to sense and sensibilities, a molecular logic of olfactory perception, in which the brain is described to perceive objects not as one whole, but as a series of smaller parts. This is actually exactly what the Kappa effect says about time perception. That a small lag in time can cause misreading of patterns, causing an illusion between sensory stimuli. It also explains perfectly that different types of sensory information are processed at different speeds by neural architectures. Part 3. Technology destroys perception of the moment through instant gratification. Technology can trap us in a cycle of instant gratification. We're stuck in a present moment in which we are not fully present because we're anticipating the next moment. This is shown in social media, which are designed to be like slot machines. I hope somebody will like the picture I just posted. I hope somebody will respond to what I just said. Your futuristic outlooks on life may be shifted to the now, and your ability to take in the present is shifted to the future as well. It's a bit like going shopping for groceries. We think in the future when we make our list, but we always tend to come back with something we never planned on buying. This is an example of how our priorities can change. Now, examples of this are things we know all too well. One example is the pull to refresh button on social media sites. We actually don't have to reload any of our social media. It's already done for us. But companies include this pull to refresh feature so that the users think they're experiencing something new, when in reality, they're not. It's just a slot machine for a new perspective on time. Extrasensory perception at the MIT Doppel Lab gives us some interesting perspective on technology and the senses. New technology like Doppel Lab is actively being created to augment the senses. In effect, making it possible to travel to new environments as a definition of now has a new meaning. Thus, your perspective on time shifts as now means something completely different as before. So what are some solutions to stop being a servant to technology? Well, mindfulness and breathing exercises can help stop instant gratification as you focus on yourself introspectively. Ways you can do this is by practicing meditation, limiting the buzz from your electronics, closing the door, taking breaks, stop multitasking. However, of course, technology is what keeps the world connected. Some limitations to what we just said are that what we say for one person may not work for everybody. Stopping technology altogether is also a bit harsh. And some may even say that technology even boosts social interactions because we get to meet people we would have never ever met in the first place. In conclusion, I leave you with the following quote. When we become excessively present-oriented and focus on instant gratification, we're more susceptible to compulsive behavior. By Dr. Philip Zimbardo, professor at Stanford University and author of Time Perception. Thank you.
All right. So let me ask you 2 questions. So, what information did you need that you weren't able to locate, and how did you go about trying to find that?
Yeah, so this whole year, this is my first time that I ever did something on psychology. And as every psychologist knows, it's very hard to get actual data on psychology stuff because it's people. What you might find from one person may be completely different from another person. So if you're looking for numbers, you're not going to get numbers at the end of the day. Because anything that finds a common ground is either a small sample and non-representative of the whole population. So my first time with psychology, effectively I had to use different types of evidence.
Okay. So, what additional questions emerged after you did this research? And why are those important?
I wanted to extend my argument to, when I first found my argument, I was reading the assigned sources, but I really wanted to extend this to something that we can all connect. Ever since we were in the 3rd grade, we asked our teacher, hey, miss, why was recess so short but math class seems so long? The idea of time perception. So this is a topic I've had since I was little too. So using this question, this is how I was able to formulate this question from my 3rd grade. Yeah.
All right, that's good.